A significant depopulation of the country's penal institutions is in order to attain this. A reckoning or review of the cases of 70,000 behind bars is imperative. For instance, those in jail for measly possession of a few grams of weed or marijuana should be let go. Our Luisa Erispe with more details.
On the last day of the National Jail Decongestion Summit, the Department of Justice eyes another solution on crowded jails nationwide. According to Undersecretary Jesse Hermogenes Andres, he sees it is more efficient if the Dangerous Drugs Act of 2002 is reviewed and amended. The changes the department seeks are on penalty thresholds handed down to offenders.
We have to review it whether our amounts or threshold amounts for you to be charged with a non-bailable offense is still accurate given the practice. You know, there are new drugs coming in. Fentanyl, very important new drug that's coming in, cheaper and yet 10 times more effective or deleterious rather than shabu. And it's more affordable. It's another challenge for us.
To discuss this matter, the DOJ will seek to hold a drug summit with several agencies of the government, including the Department of Health. But the DOJ clarified that this doesn't mean less justice in the country, but rather strengthening cases filed in courts.
A weak case that is filed in court will not attain justice. We are not dismissing a weak case, but we will build up this case. We will use forensics, we will use all sorts of innovations because that is now the trend that we are trying to pursue, using forensics as an instrument to strengthen cases.
Meanwhile, the DOJ assessed that strengthening the case build-up is effective in minimizing admissions of PDLs. Cases filed went down to 20%.
We're trying to correct the situation where law enforcers are gathering evidence without the guidance of prosecutors. There are so many mistakes in gathering evidence, and in fact, there are some wrong practices that needs to be corrected. We presented the statistics, and so far there is a 20% decline in the number of cases filed in court. I think that is because we are still cascading it. We predict that it can be half, and we don't mind that only half cases are filed in court, but the conviction rate will be very, very high.
And for the Bureau of Corrections, because of the over-congested status of jail facilities at the BJMP, they are eyeing the transfer of PDLs with 3 years and below of incarceration to the new Bilibid prison. This is about 13,000 PDLs nationwide.
We will recommend na yung pag nasentensyahan na kahit 3 years and below, malipat na rin sa Bucor.
Today is the last day of the first National Decongestion Summit. This is in line with the Philippine Development Plan 2023 to 2028. The government envisions that after the term of President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., jails will be decongested and more humanitarian for PDLs. Luisa Erispe for The Nation.